Hey everybody, welcome to the Monday night team call, and it's almost the end of summer and we've taken a little hiatus from our Monday night calls, but we are back in the saddle and I wanted to bring back the Monday night calls with a bang, with power and excitement. And so my friend of over 20 years, the amazing Deana Christofferson, said yes to being our first guest speaker. And let me tell you, if you don't know Deana Christofferson, then you're missing out on a sweet spot in life. Okay, Deana Christofferson is, yes, 100 Club extraordinaire. But she's the original mom on a mission, because what she wanted to do when she started this business was she wanted to stay home with her boys, 3 boys. Well, she obviously did that, but guess what else she did? She was able to retire her husband, so he became a stay-at-home dad. Now, this amazing woman has this incredible background in the fitness industry. You know, she's a personal trainer, she's a coach, aerobics instructor, so fit could be her middle name. Okay, so she became a national marketing director for this company. You gotta get, you know, it was Catherine Lee who introduced Juice Plus to Deana, you know, in the produce section of a grocery store in California. So she got it. She got what this was. Her belief skyrocketed. So like she made it to national marketing director very quickly, puts her husband in the system. And 3 years later, she was able to promote him out as a national marketing director. My friends, that does not happen unless you have belief in the product, the company, and the industry, and you stand with bold pride and say, this is who I am and this is what I do. So that's Deana Christofferson. Today, her and her husband, Bob, live in their dream home. And I got to tell you, this is a dream home in Northern California. And that was a vision that came through for them. So let's get this started. Deana, my friend, my buddy, come on along. Talk to us.
I'm so excited, Terry. Thank you for this honor, this privilege. I'm humbled when you start saying these things about me. I'm like, wait a minute, is that somebody else? So it really, it's been a process. It's been a journey. And I really believe that those who want to grow, wow, what an crazy, crazy environment. What an amazing environment of human beings to decide to grow with. I can't think of a better group of individuals that will love you, and you can lean on them, and you can lean on each other through this process that we call this Juice Plus business, which of course David Beaver said the best, that it's cleverly described as a personal development program. But we are going to talk about building a stable and a lasting business, because let me just tell you, if you want to have lifestyle and you want to love your life, it's got to be a stable and lasting business. And Terry and I have proven over 22 years for me. Terry, you're what, 24, 25 years with amazing company, 25. So that is stable. Who do you know that has been with the same company for over 20 years? I mean, think about that, especially in our industry. So it's pretty amazing. So we're going to talk about how to build this business. It really boils down to rising up leaders, because here's the thing. If you do not rise up leaders, you can't create teams. And if you don't create teams, you can't create wealth. And if you don't create wealth, you can't create a future. So rising up leaders does create teams. That creates wealth, and that's the future, the long-term future, where you can look and say, I'm not going to have to go out and get a job ever again, because this is it for me. I'm sold out. This is the business that I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And call it work. Well, it's work, but it doesn't always feel like work. It feels amazing to help people. So there are some challenges when we look at leadership. Of course, there are some big challenges with that. You know, I love this from Jim Rohn. He says that the challenge of a leader is to be strong, but not rude, to be kind, but not weak, to be bold, but to not bully, to be thoughtful, but not lazy, to be humble, not timid, to be proud, yet not being arrogant, to have humor, but without folly. And again, like I said, the late, great Jim Rohn, who I know Terry is a huge fan of, as am I, he is the one who really taught me leadership on such a profound level. So when we look at the characteristics of a good leader, these are the things that I felt were important. This whole training I put together, I thought a lot about my journey, and that's how I created this training. I actually did this in the Philly Summit back in July, and it was just a great day for me to be able to share what I know. So when we look at leaders, leaders know that the best way to succeed is to be willing to fail. And you've heard this over and over again, but let me tell you, it hurts in the process. It never feels good to fail. But just know that if you can drum up the courage to get up again, and it is over and over again, another no, another person who says, oh, this isn't going to be a business that's going to amount to anything for you. Whoever it is that steals your dreams, just know that it takes courage to get up again. And these leaders know that failure will always be the best teacher, because let me tell you, when I've been knocked down, I will look and I will get a different perspective, and I will have a different view of how I can be better. How can I change myself in the process and not change others, because we can't do that. We're not in control of others. Leaders also know that they are, or their current situation is never going to be perfect. One of my mentors with Catherine Lee and Wendy Campbell, the famous, you don't have to be perfect. So many times she said that to us, and we've got to be okay with that. If you strive for perfection, you will never achieve it. Nobody's ever going to be perfect. And as soon as we realize that, we can strive to do better, but it's never going to be perfect. Because what I know, certainly, and many leaders know, that, analyzing over and over and over to be perfect can paralyze you. And then you don't even get out of the stopping block or the starting blocks, because you're paralyzed because, it's never going to be perfect. I have a son who is an artist, so artists definitely fit into that, right? Leaders take advice from those that they respect and trust. You have a great leader in Terry. I know that you respect and trust Terry, and there will be other leaders that you will find, whether it's a book you read, a leader that you find on YouTube, a seminar that you go to, taking advice from the people who have paved the way and becoming more like that. People who hang around people that are successful become successful. If you hang around people that aren't going anywhere, guess what? Your chances that you won't go anywhere is going to be pretty high. So we've got to hang around the people that we respect and we trust. And leaders, I love this. This is a Brené Brown, right? Leaders don't pay attention to any of those people, or they're not bothered by those that are not in the arena getting their ASS kicked. I don't want to offend anybody, but that's the bottom line. And it might be that brother-in-law that you constantly feel, or that family friend that is constantly giving you their opinions or their advice, and they've never been in the arena. If you look at this, amazing. I love the movie Gladiator, and I loved Russell Crowe's character of Maximus. And if you think about Maximus, I know we all think, what was under that skirt, right? But aside from that, Maximus didn't worry about the people watching him or listen to the hooting and the hollering and the throwing of tomatoes or whatever it was that they were doing. He knew he was in the arena and he was there to do a job, and he wasn't going to listen to the negative and the naysayers out watching him about whether or not he was going to win that battle. He was constantly getting his butt kicked, and that it can feel that way sometimes, can it? Absolutely. So as a leader then, we do have to be intentional every single day. And leaders will regularly assess, like, did that work? How did that event go? How can we do it differently? Wow, I really blew that. Or you can go back to those people that you admire and respect and say, hey, give me some advice, not criticism, but look at some constructive advice of how I can be better, do better, and serve better. Because we know that, right, doing the same thing over and over and over again is insanity. So if we're not getting the results that we want, we've got to change it up. And sometimes getting some tough love or some personal feedback might be what we need. I do believe that leaders love to teach. They love to teach what they know, and they love to help others become successful. And, selfishly, that could be a helper's high, right? Because it does feel good. But when I look at the leadership within the Juice Plus company, I think about the willingness to serve. It doesn't matter if that person is in their downline or not. The leadership within this company is always willing to teach others. We don't get paid. I didn't get paid to go to Philly to teach. Really, I think I had 3 people in the room that were on my team. The other 450 people were not. But I love teaching what I know so I can help others become successful. It's a good thing. Leaders are independent thinkers, but they also love to collaborate with a team, because this isn't a dictatorship. It's how we come together and we innovate. That when you think about the Freedom Revolution website and the Healthy Living Revolution website, that was a complete collaboration of really great independent thinkers that came together to create something really, really awesome. And that's what we have with this company. Leaders set that pace for their team, and they know that management mode is death to a team and their business, because people will do what you do. And if all you're doing is telling everybody else what to do and you're not continuing to build frontline, it will start to go. There's a book called, and I have it right here. It's a great book. It's called Sink, Float, or Swim. And the bottom line is, if you're not growing your business, you're sinking. If you're not continuing to sponsor frontline, you're floating. We want to be swimming constantly. In order to swim in our business, we have to continue to bring new people in. And leaders have entrepreneurial mindset. Think about that. I mean, if you have been a clock in, clock out employee your entire life, it's a real paradigm shift, because you show up in your office on Monday morning with your Juice Plus virtual franchise. Wow, you don't have a boss looking over your shoulder. Now, I like that. I don't have a boss. I've been fired 3 times, so it's very obvious I don't do well with bosses, and I'm certifiably unemployable. Anybody who knows me knows that. So I don't need somebody to get me going. Yeah. So if you have a difficult time getting yourself going, then you aren't thinking like an entrepreneur. You have a multi-million-dollar business at your fingertips, and taking advantage of that opportunity can change your life forever. Thinking like an entrepreneur, you're the one who sets the pace for your team. You're the one who decides what you're going to do with each and every hour of your day. And to me, that's freedom, my friends. That is freedom. Having to work for somebody else every day is like slavery for me, but that's just my opinion. You can take it for what it's worth. So this is what leaders don't do. I believe leaders don't wait to be told what to do. They just get into action. They make those phone calls. They do what they know they need to do. They don't wait to take the initiative. Leaders don't wait for someone else to do their business for them. They don't wait for their upline. They don't wait for the corporate office. And they certainly aren't waiting for their downline to make things happen. They get things happening, and they don't make excuses. I cannot stand excuses. If people have legitimate reasons for X, Y, and Z, then absolutely that's fine. But excuses I can't tolerate, and I move on. And I'll talk about that analogy in a second. So really, the sooner that we can all realize that this is your business, this is your business. You know, when you signed up as a distributor, it says independent distributor. It says that for a reason. And we can use our upline as excuses. Oh, they're not there for me enough. They don't do this. You are an independent distributor. There were seasons that Catherine couldn't help me because she had some big life happening. She went through a divorce. She had some major death in the family. And I could have blamed Catherine for not helping me enough, but I just went to work. And that's what we've got to do as entrepreneurs, as business owners. So the sooner you can be independent, here's what happens, is the more empowered you feel. It's such a great feeling. You're like, wow, I was able to do that salad bar at a jar party by myself. I was able to do that three-way connection call with my new team member and their prospective distributor. That feels really good. It's empowering. And when you feel empowered, what happens? We feel confident. It builds belief that we can do this. And then people are like attracted to you because they're like, wow, there is a skip in that person's step. They're confident. I want to know what they're doing because I am attracted to that energy. Never underestimate the power of your energy. And this isn't woo-woo stuff. You really attract what you put out. And if you're putting out positive, I just always think about Terry, how positive and uplifting every time I'm around her. I just want to be around her more. So be that kind of person in your own authentic way. Be who you are. Don't try to be somebody else, but be your own person that others will be attracted to. And then they'll want to join your team. They won't even know why at first. It's like when I met Catherine in the grocery store, I was attracted to her confidence, to her energy, just to her smile. There was something about her that drew me in. So we've got to be that person. Are you getting invited to parties, right? Do people call you to go out for lunch? You know, if they're not, it could be that you're not putting any really positive energy out there. So how about tips for those who want to make money in this business? Now, money, it's not the love for money. Money creates options, doesn't it? Money creates amazing options for us. So if you want to create income, making your Juice Plus business a priority every day is really all about your DMO. And you've heard this over and over again, and I sound like a broken record, and I'm sure that Terry does too. And I like to call it daily methods of opportunity, or my dear friend Nikki Cotton calls it daily magnificent outcomes. I don't care what you call it, but it's about having a plan, having a calendar. What am I going to do today? Personally, I don't know, Terry, if you guys are using Team Z. It's a great tool, and I think if you're really struggling trying to create a DMO, you might want to check into that. It's Team ZY. So we've also got to be a big picture thinker, right? If you don't have that bigger vision of what this business can do, then you'll always look at your business as small with very little potential, or even a hobby. And we all know that hobbies cost money, right? So digging deep to find the bigger picture, to find the why. And if you don't have that kind of that burning desire, it's not going to get you to put in the work. But it also comes with a huge belief that I can. Believe that you can be successful. Believe it, that when you believe things, it's amazing what happens. The power of intention is extremely powerful. So what are you telling yourself every day? And that's another Brene Brown kind of philosophy of, what are we telling ourselves every single day? Any self-development, personal development will tell you of those intentions every single day. We've got to switch them around if we're playing ugly, negative, old tapes. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not. Right? How about I am statements? I am smart. I am powerful. I am a friend. I am a helper. I am somebody who wants to serve others, right? Those are the switches that we've got to make. And really understanding too, that within this big framework, it's so simple. Teams are built with the duplication of a 2,000 plus. It's really that simple. So how do we get 2,000 plusers? Well, I look at key indicators that somebody wants to get on my bus. Now, I look at it as I've got this bus, and I'm at a bus station. And I would love, I started inviting people onto my bus so we can go on this journey together, right? Some people, it's kind of like that movie, The Polar Express. Remember the little kid who didn't want to get on the train, right? And he was afraid he was going to miss out on something, but that train left the station. Well, guess what? Terry's bus, my bus, a leader's bus is going to leave the station. Whether you get on our bus or not, we're going to find people who want to get on our bus. And here's the great part is we may come around again to invite you back on the bus because life happens. Death, illness, divorce, things like that happen where maybe for a season, you've got to take a step off the bus. And that's okay, but you lose a lot of momentum. So staying on the bus as much as possible and continuing the ride and continuing to grow at the pace that you can, that fits within your life and the circumstances that are thrown at you. But I love to look at this as a bus. And the people I invite onto my bus are the people, my existing customers that love Juice Plus and they're sending me referrals. They're also influencers. People that have a huge Facebook group or Instagram account, and you see that people are following them because they are already confident. They already have a client base. Maybe they're a hairdresser, a massage therapist, a yoga instructor, a personal trainer, a nurse. I don't know, somebody that is really has the power to influence others in a really positive, uplifting way. And they might have a meaningful why. Maybe they've had their own bout with an illness, a very serious illness like Terry had when she started. She was struggling with her health. So if you know people that are really struggling, reach out. Be a friend. Be a helper. Be a servant. Give them the information like it's got a big red bow on it. And they've got to be willing to work. I look at people, and if they're constantly living in poverty, and they're constantly complaining about money, I have to think, I don't know that I want them in my business. Now, I was broke. We were broke. And I'll tell my story in a second if I've got the time. But I had an incredible work ethic, and I was looking for opportunities. I was open to opportunities. There is a huge difference. It is a huge difference. And think about those people in your life that just aren't willing to work. They'd rather complain versus those who are like willing to do anything to make their life better. They've got to be coachable, right? We have a simple system. They don't have to reinvent anything. If they're stubborn, like, oh, I can do it my way. I can do it my way. I can do it my way. It's going to take a while before they come around, and that's okay. But hopefully they'll realize that they're overcomplicating things. And if they just simply say, yes, we know they want to get on the bus, right? And we're ready to go with them and we're going to lock arms with them. So, when we look at some of these key indicators of people getting on your bus, we've got to get them plugged in. We've got to get them on Voxer. That's mandatory. I'm not going to work with people unless they get on Voxer. We get on a 3-way connection call. I love to use Voxer as a 3-way connection with my upline. I still get them on with Catherine and Wendy so they can meet my new distributor. They can share their story. She can share hers. That's a great way to connect. And using Zoom as a 3-way connection or just a regular phone call or coffee if you live close by. And it's really important to teach your distributors how they invite to a 3-way connection call or a Zoom and who to invite. Really, really important. And there's a lot of great info on how to do that on the mission-driven model. We've got to calendar 3 events in the first 30 days, minimally. They can be in-home events. They can be virtual events. If you live close by, I think in-home events are better than virtual events. That's just been my experience. But, you know, it might depend upon the age group you're working with. And an event can also mean meeting at a coffee place downtown or meeting for a happy hour. You know, it doesn't have to be in somebody's home, because some people just don't want people in their home, and that's okay. But an event is where you've got 3 or 4 people coming together. That's an event. So when we look at the websites, I'm sure none of these are new to any of you, but we've got to get our new team members plugged in. We've got to show them what that back office, that virtual office, that when they pay that $50, they get this amazing back office. They also get a storefront, which is their personal juiceplus.com. So helping them navigate that they can send a URL to where their potential customer can go right to their storefront and buy Juice Plus. We streamline it for them by taking them right into, like when I send a potential customer, if they want to buy off my website, I send them right to the Trio. I don't want them having to navigate it. I send that link, that the URL goes right to the buy part for the Trio. So little tips like that. I teach them how to save videos on their phone, and that's kind of some deeper learning, but little tips of the trade that I use. The freedomrevolution.com, of course, incredible. And I don't want to plug them into the mission-driven model until they've 2,000 plus. That's just my personal philosophy, because these 4 websites are enough to get them to the 2,000 plus. It's plenty. I just want them to understand how to place an order and understand they've got a back office, a front office, they've got a website on the business and a website for products. That's pretty much those 4 top ones. And then deeper learning is the mission-driven model. So when we look at the numbers that it takes to make an NMD in 2 to 3 years, these are real numbers, you guys. These were the numbers that it took for me to get to the national marketing director in 2 years and 10 months. I talked to 500 people. Let's break that down. In 2 years, that's 5 new people a week. Or if you decide you want to get to NMD in 3 years, that's 3 of an underscore new people a week. We have social media now. It's easy to do that. You could reach out to 10 to 20 new people a day with social media. And Team Z is a great teacher of that. So we're not talking tons and tons of people per week. 500 can look like a lot, but when you break it down to per week, it really is not that much. How many new people are you connecting with each day? That might be a slice of humble pie right there, because it might not even be close to these numbers, and that may be why you're not getting the results that you want. When you look at the law of averages, they don't lie, because we know out of those 500 people, I got about 150 to 200 customers. Guess what? A lot of them quit too. Okay, they didn't all shtick, right? 40 of them joined my team, I would say, about there. And 10 of those quit. See how my numbers are disappearing out of my funnel? 10, they'll eat Juice Plus for life, that they're really not going to do the business they thought they would, and they got to know, and they wear a kitty cat and they went back under the bed or whatever. My bus kept moving. You know, I didn't wait for them to get on the bus with me. 10 of them, you know, you'll get some VFs and sim sales coordinators, and they'll share a little bit, but they're afraid of building a team. They just keep playing those negative tapes over and over, or they'll come up with excuses, or maybe they have legitimate, or they don't have a vision to build team. That's okay. They still feed the numbers, right? We have a lot of people who do a little bit. I'm thankful for that. It is a numbers game. And we'll get 10 that want to get to senior sales coordinator and beyond. These are the numbers that don't lie. And here's the thing. You never stop sponsoring. This will get you to NMD, but this won't get you to 100 Club. You're going to have to keep going through those 500 every few years to get the 100 club, because even some of those leaders that got even to NMD may change. People die, too. I mean, come on. We can't think somebody's going to be with us for eternity, right? Death and taxes, it's guaranteed. Some people are going to die. Some people will just go away. We've got to continue to sponsor even once we've hit NMD. I've seen too many NMDs get there and say, I've arrived. I don't have to do anymore. I got my 5, got my 6, and that's it. They go into management mode. That, I'm telling you, and I've got too many people on my team that's done that. And my bus just keeps going. So I don't even wait for the NMDs. My bus just keeps going. So after you hit that 2,000 plus, remember I said businesses are built on the duplication of 2,000 pluses. We got to get them qualified. So what could somebody expect by having qualified business as a sales coordinator? That's about 24 families on 2 or more products. That's going to get them qualified. They'll make about $500, $300, $400, $500 a month, right? And for some people, that's great. That's groovy. That's a little fun money. It's $6,000 a year. It's a vacation to Hawaii for their family of 4. That's maybe all that they want, or it's a car payment, whatever. Okay. As your team grows, your earnings grow. So now you've taught 3 to do what you did. So now you've got 96 families on 2 or more products. You've got about 4,000 to 6,000 PVC points going through your number, and you're making about $1,200 a month, right? I don't have this in writing because the company would be mad at me, but I'm just telling you that's about what you'd be earning. And then if you duplicate again, and you've got like a 12 club, well, you've got 288 families, and they're on 2 or more products. Call it 13,000 to 30,000. I know that seems like a big gap. It just depends upon the width. If you're one-legged, right, that's a problem. So we want to have a nice balance of those legs. At 12 club, you could say, hey, $3,000 to $4,000 a month would be an expected income depending upon the structure. There's a lot of variables. And then when we look at 24 club, we're looking at 576 families. Wow, think about how many families have changed. When you build team, you could only reach out to 40 or 50, right? Customer base. I don't want 100 customers. That's too much to manage, right? But when you build a team, if you want to make an impact, build team. You want to have significance, build team. You want to change lives, build team. You want to create a legacy, build team. So you're looking at, at this point as a 24 clubber, $5,000 to $7,000 a month would be probably the income. And as it grows, 39 club, we'll talk about $8,000 to $10,000 a month. And then it just goes up from there. Again, depending upon balance of lines, not being one-legged, and it could guarantee not being one-legged. What do? Frontline sponsorship over and over. And I know Terry still sponsors Frontline. She'd be crazy not to. We've got this gold mine opportunity here. So to just wrap it up, because I'm at 30 minutes, this is my acronym for leaders. Leaders lead, pretty easy. They encourage. They ask questions. They ask questions when they're out in the world meeting brand new people, and they ask their team. Asking questions. We've got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. They're disciplined. They discipline their disappointments, but they discipline their week, right? They're disciplined in their activities. They enjoy educating. They respect others, and most importantly, they respect themselves. Right? Self-respect is just as important, right? That's what builds belief and confidence. That's how we don't have those negative things going in our head all the time. And we simplify systems as leaders. And this is my one quote. I will take credit for this. And it kind of comes off when the student is ready, the teacher, that whole thing. When the coach is ready, the team will appear. If you're having a difficult time developing team, it may very well be that you don't believe that you could be the coach, the leader, the teacher. And I've had some amazing mentors, Terry being one of those, an incredible opportunity to have a life of excellence. And I am just feeling very privileged and honored, Terry, that you asked me. I hope this was helpful to the group. I hope you saw value, and I'm just here to help and serve.
And so, you are the most amazing, heartfelt, servant-minded, mission-driven woman that I know. Thank you, Deana Christofferson. Everybody say a big thank you for Deana. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for being guardian of the gate for our programs. Deana loves, and believe me, she's working behind the scenes for each and every one of you. Take care. Good night, everybody. See you next Monday night. We're back. Take care. Good night, everybody.